Ladies and gentlemen, KocoSports.com proudly presents Wrestle AM. It's half wrestling show, half morning show, pretty much all BS. And of course, you got me, the sexiest man on all Internet Wrestling Radio. That's right, boom, boom, here, shaking the room live from the RVA, Richmond, Virginia. Well, kids, I've come to talk to you about New Japan Pro Wrestling's 45th anniversary show. This comes from the Ota World Gymnasium in Tokyo, Japan. Of course, the first thing I'm going to ask is, what do you give the show if you checked it out? If you're going to ask me, we always review things. Here's how we rank them: win, loss, or tie. I'm going to give the show a win. I think overall, I was very entertained by the show. I like the nods that they got. They had multiple title defenses. They had a major heel turn that I did not see coming. It's got me intrigued. They're building the road to the New Japan Cup. I'm trying not to give away too many spoilers, because if you're watching this going, hey, is it worth this? I'm not going to give away spoilers just yet. I mean, that's coming later, but I'm not going to give it away just yet. I would probably say, if you're going to watch this, it's worth checking out. If you're an extremely hardcore fan, I think it's worth watching top to bottom. If you kind of want to get into the meat of the show, I think you can skip maybe the first maybe 3 matches on there, and then start with the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team match, because that's where the bulk of the show gets started. And then, in my opinion, the show gets progressively more entertaining as it goes on. So I think it's definitely worth checking out. Of course, you can watch this courtesy of New Japan World. Now, you do have to have a subscription for that. For those of you wondering, it's 999 yen, which, when you do the rate of exchange, equals roughly $8.72 American, £7 4 pence if you're over in the UK. So it's actually cheaper than the WWE Network. So if you're paying, $10 for the WWE Network, it's worth paying an extra, $8-9 just to get New Japan. In my opinion, it's a better, as far as the shows that I'm watching, I feel it is a better quality of show, worth checking out now. So with that being said, I really hope you would go check it out. It's definitely going to be worth your time. Title changes, some surprises in there, very entertaining from pretty much from top to bottom. Now, I'm going to get into spoiler territory, so if you've not seen this show, I would highly recommend checking it out. I would check out all the title matches. There are 4 of them on there. There's some good, I think, Hamaru Takahashi versus Ryu Taguchi was especially good. The main event, which I didn't think was going to be that good, turned out to be fucking awesome. Okada versus Tiger Mask W. I'll get into more of that in just a little bit. Los Ingobernables were running wild in this. So if you're a huge fan of LIJ, we're checking out a major surprise, actually 2 major surprises. One concerning with the tag division, another regarding Suzuki-Gun. It's really worth your time. So now, if you want to know exactly what happened, I'm going to get into spoiler territory. So if you're curious about checking this out, I would suggest you just hit pause, go to New Japan World, get a subscription if you don't have it already, and no, I'm not getting paid for them, I'm not getting endorsed by them. If it's a good product, I want everybody to watch it. So no, I'm not getting any money. You can subscribe to New Japan World. 1 million people could subscribe to New Japan World. I don't get one goddamn dime out of it. But go get you a subscription to New Japan World if you don't have it. If you do, go ahead and go check it out. And I'll wait right here till you get done watching it. Then just come back here, hit play, and we'll get going again. Okay, so now we're going to get into spoilers. So I'm going to give you one last chance to get out of here. So spoilers coming to you in 3, 2, 1. I was absolutely amazed. We had 3 titles change hands, a heel turn by Zack Sabre Jr., and the main event, which I was like, I never thought, you would think on paper, okay, you're going to have the champion take on an anime character. I mean, that would be like, that would be like WWE saying, okay, Kevin Owens is going to take on Goku from Dragon Ball Z. And you're like, that's fucking stupid. That makes no sense. Why would that happen? Well, New Japan did something along those lines, but they found a way to make it work, mainly because of the man behind the mask, and I'll get into that in a second. But let's start out here. We started out with, I guess, I guess you could say maybe a dark match. This was before, about 10 minutes before everything kicked off. You saw Nakanishi taking on Tomoyuki Oka. I hope I mispronounced his name correctly. Oka, I mean, this is a young lion. He's taking on Nakanishi, former Olympian back in 1990. You know, he was in the 92 Olympics in Barcelona. These two tied it up here. Oka has really impressed me as of late. This guy, you know, he's wanting to prove that he's there. They did some tests of strength. They started exchanging forearms. I think even rocked Nakanishi with one of them, to which Nakanishi kind of gave him props to, because if you're going to be in the young line, the last thing you need to be is a fucking pussy, because these guys are going to fuck you up. If you're not familiar with the Young Lions program, chances are you are, because you're watching this, but just in case you're not, you go in there with black boots, black tights, that's it. You don't have knee pads, you don't have elbow pads. If you have to get anything taped up, you have to get permission. You come in there as plain, you have a limited move set. You're allowed to finish with a Boston Crab or I think a double thrust punch, something along those lines, and you wrestle the veterans. That's what you do, and 9 times out of 10, get your asses handed to you. But I think that's really just done to see if you can hang in there, and eventually, the more you go, you can earn things like your pads. You can earn, more moves and a chance for your own identity. And once you graduate, I mean, boom, you're allowed to wear different color tights, boots, do your own thing. But Oka, he hit a body slam on Nakanishi, but he fought him off and picked him up in his version of the torture rack. Oka tapped out. So very impressive opening for this young man. Then next we go and we take a little small break. Then we get into the show. So the first match we have Chaos versus Suzuki-Gun. So Chaos being represented by Geto, Hiroki Goto, Jado, and Yoshihashi, taking on Suzuki-Gun being represented by Davey Boy Smith Jr., El Desperado, Minoru Suzuki, and Taka Michinoku. Suzuki-Gun completely jumped Chaos at the bell, laid into him. Geto had to, was picking up the heat, having to go make the tag over to Hiroki Goto. He actually tied it up with Minoru Suzuki, which is a match I'd actually like to see coming up in the future. Goto and Suzuki. I just think that's just something I'd want to see. It's kind of like the, two boulders clashing. I want to see which one's going to crumble first. But Yoshihashi came back. He trapped Taka Michinoku at a butterfly lock during the Chaos, made him tap out. So Chaos picks up the win. Yoshihashi, in my opinion, I think he is somebody that New Japan is actually pushing this year, because I'm seeing he's looking a little bit better in 2017 thus far. I know we're only in March right now, but right now he's looking pretty good. I think maybe he's maybe they see him as a potential main eventer. So maybe they're floating up a test balloon on him, which I think is a smart idea. Then next we get to the Bullet Club. It's Bad Luck Fale, the Gorillas of Destiny, Kenny Omega, and Yujiro Takahashi, taking on David Finlay, Jushin Thunder Liger, Tiger Mask 4, Togi Makabe, and Yuji Nagata. Kenny Omega, oh man, they had some fucking fun in this match. A lot of tags in and out. Yujiro was tied it up early, had to get out of an early pin attempt. Yuji Nagata came in, make the save. Tama Tonga locked up Tama Tonga in the armbar, but they had to get broken up. They had just one spot where the Bullet Club had David Finlay down and just started body slamming every member of the Bullet Club onto Finlay, and they go through everybody. They go through the Gorillas of Destiny. They go through Takahashi, and they all point over to Bad Luck Fale, and Bad Luck Fale's like, guys, I really don't think this is a good idea. And they're like, no, come on. We'll body slam you on top of Finlay. And And he's like, no, I really don't think this is a good idea. And they're like, no, come on, it'll be cool. And so so Kenny Omega goes to pick him up. He gets him up, but he can't get him over, and he falls down because Fale is too heavy. It actually got a good chuckle out of me. Eventually, Fale, he got the win on I think it was on Finley right there. Got the pin, got the win. So Bullet Club picks up the victory there. Then this is the point where I think if you're going to skip things, this is where you need to come in, because you can skip the dark match, you can skip the opening multi-man matches, but if you're going to it's like, okay, where does the show kind of really start? This right here, the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. You had Taichi and Kanemaru representing Suzuki-Gun taking on Roppongi Vice, the champions, representing Chaos. Roppongi Vice didn't really get out. They never really got off the entranceway, because really Taichi came out with Miho Abe, but that was it. And Kanemaru didn't come out. I thought, well, maybe he's got a separate entrance, but no, they went straight into Roppongi Vice. I was like, well, that doesn't really make sense. And then you find out what happened. El Desperado and Kanemaru jumped Roppongi Vice, both Trent Barretta and Rocky Romero, from behind. They never got into the ring. They took him in and started pounding him on him. Kanemaru eventually used the bell hammer. Miho Abe, and by the way, to Kevin Kelly and Don Callis doing the English commentary, stop calling her that young lady. They flashed her name up on the screen. It's Miho Abe. She is fucking hot. Yes, she is. God damn, that girl's gorgeous. But anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, was I? Besides, I got distracted by a hot Asian woman. Yeah. So Roppongi Vice, it looks like they're making a comeback. They have a little higher energy. Eventually, they isolate Rocky Romero. Kanemaru hit a DDT. And then anyway, Suzuki-Gun gets the win. They are the new IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. Roppongi Vice has got the out because they were jumped before the bell. I mean, they were hit with the bell hammer during the match. The referee was distracted. They pulled out all the stops. So it was not a bad. It wasn't a bad match. But I want to see the rematch. Want to see where they go from here. Then next, this is a title match. It was for the Rev Pro British Heavyweight Championship. You had the champion Katsuya Shibata, who little fun fact, his father wrestled on the very first New Japan show back in 1972. So I think it's kind of appropriate. His son was there and goes in as the champion. Remember, the Rev Pro British Heavyweight Championship is recognized by New Japan Pro Wrestling, so that title was defended. He defended against Zack Sabre Jr. Some of you remember him. If you're not familiar with his work over in the United Kingdom, he is the PWG champion. He's also the Evolve champion. He is a lot of people were familiar with him when he came over to the United States with the Cruiserweight Classic. These two tied it up here, and it was if you're a fan of mat-based wrestling, you will love that. You will love this. These two were grappling back and forth completely on the mat, trying to get leverage holds. Sabre, he was striking at Shibata and went to work on his arm because remember, Shibata's got this thing where I think his trapezius muscle is just completely always like, it must be shot to shit because that thing is always taped. I don't think there's ever been a time. I don't know if there's ever been a time I've actually seen Shibata wrestled where he wasn't hurt, where he wasn't taped up. But anyway, kept working on that. Shibata came back with some German suplexes. He hit the sleeper hold. These two went at it. I mean, this was almost like a clinic, and then just out of nowhere, here comes Suzuki-Gun. And then Minoru Suzuki, he distracted the referee. Shibata kicked him off the ring, but Davey Boy Smith Jr. ran in, hit him with a lariat. Suzuki hit Shibata with a pile driver. and then set him up for a PK. Sabre hit him basically hit Shibata with his own finishing maneuver. Take two. Let's pretend I can say that in English. Hit Sabre hit him with a PK, pinned him, and then it was revealed that those two were in cahoots, Sabre and Suzuki. So not only did Zack Sabre Jr. capture the Rev Pro British Heavyweight Championship, he also joined Suzuki-Gun. He is the newest member of Suzuki-Gun, which I never saw coming. This is just huge. This is huge. I guess maybe they were trying to fill a spot with Lance Hoyt out with a back injury. I think he may be back in about 6 months or so. That's definitely worth checking. It's worth checking out. I didn't see the Zack Sabre heel turn coming. I never knew the guy could play heel. I think it's kind of an odd fit that he's in Suzuki-Gun, but let's just see what happens here. And plus, you've got Shibata and Suzuki going to take you. They're going to go head to head in the first round of the New Japan Cup. So a little bit of a preview there. Then next this is another title match. To me, this was the sleeper match of the night. You had Tomohiro Ishii and Toru Yano defending the IWGP Tag Team Championships against Tenkoji. That's Kojima and not Kojima. Hang on, god damn it, I lost my notes here. Hiroshi Tenzan. God damn it! Why did I just blank there for a second? I apologize to Mr. Tenzan. I don't want him to come over here to the United States and beat the shit out of me with those Mongolian chops. That would be bad. So I apologize to you, sir. This match was kind of, with all due respect, thrown together. Tomohiro Ishii and Toru Yano were supposed to defend against GBH, but unfortunately, Tomoki Hanma suffered an injury at a house show. He took a DDT from Jado on the second it was like he was sitting it was like from like the second rope. His feet got caught and he came straight down on his head, and for all practical purposes, he was essentially paralyzed in the ring. He could talk, but he couldn't move. He turns out he suffered an injury between his C3 and C4 vertebrae, which is bad. Which is extremely bad, because you start fucking with that shit up. I mean, you can stop breathing. You can have a shit ton of problems. But if you read the English version of New Japan, that's NJPW1972.com, they posted up an interview with one of the trainers. I'm happy to report that Hanma. He is moving. He's regained mobility of his extremities. He was gripping things. He was talking. He was joking. He was moving around. He's still hospitalized in Osaka. He is not. I don't think they're going to risk moving him, which I think is smart, because if you get swelling, especially around the spinal cord, I mean, anything like that can be life-threatening. Hell, this could be life-altering. So we definitely want to wish Tomoki Hanma the best. And, of course, his partner, Togi Makabe, obviously didn't want to go in with a different partner. So he decided to bow out of that. And so they were replaced with Tenkoji. And this, I guess maybe because I didn't have that much expectations for this, this wound up really being just a really shockingly good match. They started working on the challengers, started working on the champions. Yano, of course, did his shenanigans early on in the match. Hit Toru Yano with Mongolian chops. Kojima and Ishii, these two guys were pounding each other. I liked it when they threw them in both Chaos in the corner, and Koji just started chopping both of them. They started trading headbutts. Ishii, he fell back. Yorotano tagged in. He came in with some chops of his own. Kojima hit Hanma with a headbutt. and Tenzin locked Ishii in an Anaconda Vice. There was one spot where Kojima just out of nowhere busted out Hama's Kokeshi, that flying headbutt. And as soon as he did that, the entire crowd popped. They started chanting for Hama. It was, to me, it was a really good. It was a feel good moment. He dove in with another headbutt. Then it was locked on the Anaconda Vice. Kojima hit Yano with a lariat. They pinned him, and so your winners and new IWGP Tag Team Champions, Tenkoji. So both Kojima and Tenzan, new champions. To me, this was the, it was the feel good moment. It was the shocker in my opinion, because I just wasn't expecting a title change. I was thinking, well, is New Japan going to keep the belts on Chaos until they can find some new challengers? Because maybe they would put it on GBH. I have no idea where they're going to go with this now. I actually kind of want to see the Young Bucks challenge for the IWGP Tag Team Championships, because I don't think in my opinion, I don't think the Young Bucks gain anything by going after the junior championships again. I say move them up and, let them struggle a little bit. I mean, at least add something different. Because if they win it again, okay, you've won it for the 15th time, but you go up, but it's like MMA. When you dominate in your weight class, like if you beat everybody, then you gain weight, you move up to the next weight class. I kind of wish Bucks were going, but I'm thinking, who knows? I think there's going to be a rematch coming before anything else. Then next we have Los Ingobernables de Japan. You have Bushi, Evil, Sonata, and Tetsuya Naito taking on the foursome of Hiroshi Tanahashi, Juice Robinson, Kushida, and Michael Elgin. I think LIJ is probably like the hottest stable in New Japan right now. All these guys have got a ton of momentum with them, particularly Naito and Hamaru Takahashi. Even like Bushi, Sonata, and Evil, I think even though they're not usually the ones you think of, like when you think LIJ, but they're the never openweight 6-man tag team champions, and I think they've actually had a pretty good lengthy reign here. They won it 6 weeks ago maybe, and they're still holding it, which is almost like a fucking record for the 6-man championships, because it changed hands 10 times the first year they had it, all last year in 2016. The heels, of course, took the early lead by jumping the good guys. Tanahashi tries to make a comeback. Kushida goes in. He's fine. He starts working over Sonata and Bushi. We saw all kinds of just different combinations. Juice survived a fair amount but he was in there against Naito, but he got caught with Destino. LIJ gets the pin, gets the win. Right now they're the dominant faction. I'd like to see where some of these guys, because I know Evil's in the New Japan Cup. I don't know, but are they going to try to get some more gold? I mean, every one of them are holding something, so I don't think they've got any place to go but down. That's actually not good. Huh. Oh, yeah. I want to thank everybody. Thank you for getting the questions in. Maybe I should, I'm being too harsh on this. No, this was actually pretty good. It was an 8-man tag match. It was really entertaining. Hiroshi Tanahashi, I think he's settling in nice. I think he's actually more hurt than what they're letting on, because he's only been in the multi-man matches since he failed to capture the Intercontinental Championship at Wrestle Kingdom 11. Juice Robinson's coming along nicely. I've got nothing but mad respect to him. He's the guy who lost he intentionally left the cushy WWE job. I mean, he left NXT, went in and joined the Young Lion program, essentially started over again, because he said he didn't want to be just that guy. He didn't want to be a jobber. He wanted Triple H to look at him like he looks at Kevin Owens, like he looks at Finn Balor, and realized the only way he was going to do that was to get out of his comfort zone and go bust his ass, and he's done that. And his version of the Unprettier Pulp Friction looks absolutely amazing. Kushida, very underrated guy in my opinion. He's done well for the junior weight division. Good champion there. I like the fact that he mixes a little MMA in with his offense. Michael Elgin, where the hell has this guy been? Ring of Honor. I really felt like how Elgin's been. That was like the weirdest thing. He's in Ring of Honor. He's got the mullet. He's basically that Canadian who likes to lift weights. It's really not that big of a deal. But in fact, when they were doing like a talent exchange, they sent Ring of Honor sent Michael Elgin over to New Japan, and the Ring of Honor fans like, oh man, I hope it's not. It's like, sorry, it was just Elgin. He's not the best that we have to offer. And then Elgin goes over there and fucking just blows everybody away. They actually let him go out there, let him be himself. They let him wrestle, and his career takes off. He comes back to Ring of Honor, has a series of good matches there, and then eventually he just says to hell with it, signs with New Japan. So he's officially with New Japan now, and he's been putting on some of the best work of his career. I think that IC match he had last event, I think it was New Beginnings in Osaka against Naito. I think it was one of his best matches to date. So he's doing some really amazing things. It's worth checking out his body of work right now. Then next we go to the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship match. The champion, Hamaru Takahashi, defending against Reisuke Taguchi. Yeah, this was a serious match, but this was also a lot of fun to watch. Taguchi trying to get in the head of Takahashi early, taunting him, shaking his butt at him. He was trying to going after the ankle, trying to set him up for the ankle lock. Eventually, turnabout is fair play. Taguchi turned it around, used some of Taguchi's moves against him, including his rear end, and even knocked him out of the ring using his rear end. Then they eventually get back in. They hit a blue thunder bomb. There was a lot of reversals. I like the transition from the arm bar back into the ankle. It was an ankle lock into the arm bar. When that didn't work, it goes back to the ankle. I liked when he got out of his when Taguchi got out of Takahashi's finishing maneuver, the time bomb, went into an ankle lock. That was a great transition. I mean, that really fired up the crowd, in my opinion. Released Tiger suplex, but he just popped right. Take two here. Taguchi, he took a Tiger suplex and then just popped right back up like nothing happened. And these two started getting each other's faces. They went through some offenses. Takahashi hit, I call it an Oklahoma Stampede. It's basically where you just kind of do like a Death Valley driver into the corner. And eventually he set him up for the time bomb. He retains the match. Then Takahashi gets on the microphone. Now, I cannot speak Japanese. I don't speak a lick of Japanese. But I think he said something in the fact of, haha, I beat you. Who's next? And then out comes Kushida. So Kushida obviously wants his championship back. So I'm thinking we're going to get a rematch from them. Their next big singles event outside of this is going to be in April when they do Sakura Genesis. And then we get to the main event. We have the IWGP Heavyweight Champion, Kazuchika Okada, taking on Tiger Mask W. And now if some of you don't know who Tiger Mask W is, you're like, why the fuck should we care? You should care because that's Kota Ibushi in a mask. And Kota Ibushi is fucking awesome. He's a freelancer right now. That's his thing. That's what he wants to do. He doesn't want to be tied down by any promotion. He turned down contracts from New Japan. He turned down contracts from DDT, that's the Dramatic Dream Team in Japan, and he obviously turned down a contract with the WWE. And it's actually kind of, because here's the funny thing, how do you negotiate with someone where money doesn't really matter to them? I mean, how do you do that? It's like, WWE is like, oh, okay, well, let's find out how far apart we are on the numbers here. Let's see if we can make a deal. And, Ibushi's like, no, it has nothing to do with money. I just want to be happy. I want to do my thing. And that's why he didn't. That's my opinion. That's the only reason he didn't win the Cruiserweight Classic, is because I think they set it up for him to win that. They were going to sign him and have him go in as the cruiserweight champion, but he just didn't. So he made it to the semifinals. Again, this was something that, on paper, it doesn't sound like it would be good, but it actually turned out really well. I mean, these two went at it for almost 30 minutes. So just don't think of it as Tiger Mask W. Just think of it as Okada versus Ibushi, and that just makes things so much better. Of course, if you wonder what I'm referencing, maybe I should take a step back here. Tiger Mask W is actually an anime. You can actually watch it. You can find it floating around on the web. I think you can find a link. I think New Japan World has it. I'm not sure if it's subtitled in English or not. I think Crunchyroll.com has it. I found it on some, via internet magic, and I'm watching it just as fast as they can translate it. I think they're up to about episode 21 right now. I think they're about to wrap it up because, typically speaking, your typical anime series is about 20, anywhere from 24 to 20. I guess in some cases, I think the most I've ever seen for one season, like 27. Outside of Gundam, but that's a different story for a different day. These two just went at it in the ring. There was a spot where Okada hit red ink on Tiger Mask W, but he managed to reach the ropes. He avoided the Rainmaker, and Tiger Mask W hit a snap German suplex. They started trading strikes. He got fired up. There was one spot where it looked like Okada was going to hit like a tombstone pile driver from the top rope, but luckily Tiger Mask W managed to squirm out of it, hit a Pele kick. He rocked Okada. Tiger Mask W hit Okada with a super Tiger driver, which I thought maybe was going to be the end there. Okada, he countered with the power bomb, and then he picked up Tiger Mask W for a Rainmaker, but the Tiger ducked it, and he hit a German suplex, okay, there's one point where Tiger Mask W had not basically kicked Okada, held onto the wrist, picked him back up, kicked him again, held onto the wrist, picked him back up, kicked him again. Looks like he was about to put away, but Okada comes back, counters with a German suplex, immediately scoops up Tiger Mask W, hits him with a Rainmaker, gets the 1, 2, 3. This was just an amazing finish. They did a spot where Okada, offered his hand to pick up Tiger Mask W, but he declined. This is one of those things where I think New Japan can find a way to make things work. Because, again, like I said at the top of the review, if I was to say, okay, Kevin Owens is going to fight Goku from Dragon Ball Z, you're going to think that's fucking stupid. So, same thing here. It's like, yeah, Okada, the IWGP Heavyweight Champion, he's going to take on a character in an anime. But that's fucking stupid. No. Well, no. When you put a good wrestler behind the mask and you just give him enough time to tell a story, while this didn't sound good on paper, just fucking watch it. It was a fucking amazing, especially if you like Okada, if you like Kota Ibushi. Those two tore each other apart. I absolutely love the match, so it's worth checking out. Now there is a New Japan 45th anniversary show. Is like a second show that they did. I'm going to be honest. I'm really not going to review that show. I mean, it's okay, but everything there, it wasn't a bad show. If you're a hardcore fan, I would recommend watching it out. But if you're a casual New Japan fan, I probably would skip it. But the only reason to watch it would be to see, because everything's a preview for the New Japan Cup. And again, I keep talking about the New Japan Cup. Maybe I should explain what the hell that is. It's actually a 16-man single elimination tournament. And if you win, then you get to challenge for any of the three of the following singles titles. You can challenge for the Never Openweight Championship, the IWGP Intercontinental Championship, or the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, challenge for the Heavyweight Championship. Well, if you're a smaller guy, maybe you don't want to do that, or maybe you want to see how things are going with the. Anyway, Everything just depends on the storylines. And the second show that they did was just kind of like a preview of New Japan Cup. So if you want to see what it's like, maybe it's worth watching. But I honestly, if you miss time and you just miss out on it, you're not missing really a lot. But it does have English commentary, so it's easier to kind of follow along here. All right, Ricardo Edwards, you've been so patient, so I'm going to jump in here and I'm going to answer all your questions. And I know some of you are not watching this live, but if you've got any questions here, put them down below in the doodly-doo, or if you're live here, just go ahead and put them over here in the chat room. So Ricardo Edwards asks, who do you see winning the New Japan Cup? How would you book the finals? Oh, that's a good question. Let's take a look. New Japan Cup 2017. All right, here we go with the brackets. We have, okay, basically the New Japan Cup is like a miniature version of the G1, almost like kind of like you have basically an A side and a B side, and it's a single elimination tournament. You go in there, and whoever wins out, All right, so here's the brackets. This is actually going to take place. The first tournament, the left side of the bracket is going to take place this Saturday on March the 11th. The right side of the bracket will take place the next day on Sunday. So you got 4 matches apiece in this. So here they are. You have Tanahashi versus Evil. You were supposed to have Hanma, but he is being replaced by Yuji Nagata. He's supposed to take on Tangaroa from the Gorillas of Destiny. Michael Elgin versus Bad Luck Fale. Toru Yano versus Tamatanga. Then on the other side of the bracket, you have Katsuri Shibata versus Minoru Suzuki. Juice Robinson versus Yujiro Takahashi. We have Tomohiro Ishii versus Kenny Omega. And then Yoshihashi versus Sonata. As far as the left side of the bracket, I think my pick on the left side of the bracket to come out of that, at least who I think would make the most sense, I think Michael Elgin would be somebody I would seriously take a look at. I think the dark horse for that would be Evil. On the other side of the bracket, I'm kind of torn here. I could see Kenny Omega winning out and try, because I think it would make sense for him to push it that far. I could see Suzuki maybe going on, or Shibata, but I could see those two kind of kill. That's the next major feud. Outside chance, I guess maybe Yoshihashi. So I guess in the finals, I'm going to take a gamble here. I'm going to go Kenny Omega, Michael Elgin with Kenny Omega going over. If I wanted to mix it up a little bit, I would probably say the other outside choice that I would have, I would probably say maybe probably say Yoshihashi. I could see him challenging for like the never open weight. Well, no, I could actually see him challenging for the Intercontinental Championship, to be honest. So right now, I'm just going to go with Omega because I feel like that's the safe bet. Because I remember last year, Naito won it, and he challenged for the Heavyweight Championship, and he defeated Okada. And then, so I could see maybe them doing the same thing here with Omega winning it, having him challenge again for the Heavyweight Championship, finally going over this time. I think they would maybe want to have him champion because I know they're planning a trip to the United States this summer. Maybe they want to go ahead and have him established as the champion as a big draw. That's just an idea. I could see Yoshihashi winning it because it's somebody they want to push. Suzuki, I don't know, maybe. Shibata, maybe. I just don't. That's just what I'm looking at here, just off the top of my head here. Okay, could we see Zack Sabre Jr. versus Will Ospreay in a New Japan ring down the line? Absolutely, especially now that they're going to be in rival factions with because right now Suzuki-Gun is feuding with Chaos. Zack Sabre Jr. is in the Suzuki-Gun. Will Ospreay's in Chaos. I could definitely see those two tying it up. If you could predict who's on being added to the Best of the Supers Juniors tournament, who would it be? That is a good question. I mean, you're always going to have your mainstays like Kushida. You're going to have Bushi. You're going to have Will Ospreay. You're going to have Ricochet. You're probably going to maybe have Roppongi Vice. They may bring back Chase Owens, and they may maybe put a young buck or two in there. They may bring in some outside people. They could probably since they could probably bring some guys from Rev Pro, bring some luchadors, maybe somebody like Dragon Lee. I mean, why not? Why not bring in Dragon Lee? You could bring in some other guys from CMLL. You could probably bring in somebody like Cheeseburger from Ring of Honor. There's just, I mean, the sky's the limit, because typically it's always their light guy. It's the bulk of their junior weights, along with a few guys sprinkled in just for the hell of it. Maybe Bobby Fish. Well, I don't know if Bobby Fish meets the weight limit. I'd like to see Kyle O'Reilly back, but that's a different story for a different day. But who's being added? I think you'd be stupid not to bring back Dragon Lee. I think he's super over right now, and why not bring in a couple more luchadors in? Use your connections with Ring of Honor, bring some of their guys in. Hell, maybe bring back Jay White. Let everybody see how Jay White's improved since he's been over the States. All right, Lionsgate Project 4 event to showcase the Young Lions. It's coming up on April 13th. Could we see Katsuya Katamari, the big muscled young lion who's make his ring-in debut? Who would you have him face? If it's just Young Lions versus Young Lions, I would have him take on Ota, the New Zealander. I just think, because if it's the guy that I'm thinking about, which I think it is, or it's who you're talking about, yeah, I would have him take on, because I'd at least want it to be competitive. Because they had another guy. Oh God, what's his name? Give me like 2 seconds and I can look it up. Let's go to TV report. There was one guy that they had wrestled at the second show. I'm looking for his name right now. Kawato. You can't have him take on Kawato. Kawato will fucking get destroyed. He's fucking dude, I think the guy's skinnier than me. And he's about to turn 20, so I don't know if that's what I'd like to see there. But anyway, Tiger Mask W is shown on New Japan World, but doesn't have any subtitles. Okay, thank you for clearing that up. It also is shown on Crunchyroll, which does have English subtitles. Well, there you go, Ricardo. I'm watching it internet magic, so I don't have a subscription to Crunchyroll, but it's one of those, even if you're not an anime fan, you could probably check it out, because it's pretty hilarious. Let me give you an idea of just what Tiger Mask W is about. It's about two guys. They're an independent wrestling promotion, and they have this company called Global Wrestling Monopoly. Geez, I wonder who that's a shot at. Comes through, and one of their wrestlers, Yellow Demon, basically cripples their mentor. And so these two guys decide that they're going to get their revenge. So one of them decides to go get training from a guy who knew like Tiger Mask, and he's going to become the new Tiger Mask, who will become Tiger Mask W. And the other guy, he actually decides to join the Tiger's Den, basically like the training group behind Global Wrestling Monopoly. Basically, it's like, well, what better way to beat them? Kind of like the Randy Orton method: join them. If you can't beat them, join them. Then screw them. And then there's some stuff that's actually kind of outrageous, but it does feature New Japan talent. Yuji Nagata's a regular character on there. Okada's a regular character on there. Naito makes appearances. Togi Makabe, Hanma, even some like small like stuff like make cameos like Kenny Omega, Tonga Tama, Bad Luck Fale, Evil. A lot of these guys, they make cameos in there. It's actually not bad. It's just one of those, just fucking relax and watch it. Is Ibushi going to be in the Cup tournament, or is he going to be Tiger Mask W? Well, Clifton Smith, I think he's just Tiger Mask W for right now. I don't think he's going to go in as him. I mean, this is all up to Ibushi. I think Ibushi is one of those guys. He can do whatever the fuck he wants, whenever the fuck he wants, because he's got enough clout now. But I think he's just doing this because he wants to do it. I mean, he's just happy to be a freelancer, and that's why he's doing what he's doing. It says, see, I wouldn't skip that second 45th anniversary show. I saw the event. It was just as good as their first show. It was okay. I don't think it was bad. I don't think it was as good as the first one. I think the second show was more of a preview for the New Japan Cup, whereas the 45th anniversary show, I mean, they had title changes, they had a heel turn, they had defenses. It was good. It was good stuff. I mean, but it wasn't bad. Like I said, if you're a hardcore fan, check it out. I was up this morning but didn't watch. Don't worry, you can always go back. I hope Hama recovers and comes back in full health. Now, Hama says he's going to be back, and if he can, God bless him. I hope he does. I mean, when you damage the third and fourth, your C3, that area between your C3, C4 vertebrae, that's bad. A lot of people don't come back from that. You start swelling around the spinal cord, you get in all kinds of trouble there. And if you want to know where your C3, C4 is, all right, put your finger on your chin, and now basically go around your chin, around the side of your cheek, your jaw, and draw a line all the way to your back. Okay, well, now when you're touching the center of your neck, go up just slightly. That's where your C3, C4 is. That little soft part, like right there where the bottom of your skull kind of meets right there with your neck, right around in that area is what got hurt. And if you start messing with that, that's really not bad. And once the swelling went down in that area, he just started moving again. So hopefully he'll come back and make a full recovery. And by the way, Ricardo Evans is saying Kota Ibushi's not going to be in the New Japan Cup. He's booked with DDT for the 20th anniversary show, which is on the same day as the New Japan Cup finals on March 20th. Okay. Out of those first round matches in the New Japan Cup, which match will steal the show? Out of the first round, I think Shibata versus Suzuki has potential. And I think Kenny Omega, Tomohiro Ishii. Actually, I think the right side of the bracket, the second one's going to be the best day out of all those. But maybe out of the first day, I would probably say maybe Tanahashi and Evil has a potential to be good. All right. And hope to see Ibushi in LA in July. I hope so too. Even if it's under Tiger Mask W, I hope it's him. I hope he makes an appearance there. But all right, that's all the questions we got. Let's see here. Got some changes. As you can tell, we've been going through right now. LK has departed. He's doing his own thing now, and with our blessing. So there's no animosity to it whatsoever. Loudmouth Wrestling. He's doing that thing now. He's just following his dream, and more power to him. We're going to review shows, obviously, the best we can. Sammy and I, right now in the works, we're trying to put together so that way we could at least do a weekly show. We're trying to put our heads together and look at our schedules and see when we can finally do something like that together. So we'll at least have that. And I'm going to try to review what shows I can, when I can, and have some fun with it. Like I said, Sammy and I are going to try to do a weekly show. We're going to talk about things. We found out the Outlaw Ron Bass has passed away. We'll talk about that. We have an update on Naomi's knee injury. We'll talk about that. We'll look at the best matches of the week. We'll look at the worst of the week. And I also have an update from Dave Coco. Dave is not months, not weeks, but days away from returning. I've got an update from Dave. He's about to get everything cleared up on his end. So Coco will be coming back sometime within the next few days. Hopefully this is going to be before the end of the month. He will hopefully should be back, and we should be up and running again. We should be back to a 3-man team again. So thank you for bearing with us, and just bear with us a little bit longer here. We'll get everything taken care of. So that's going to do it for me. So in the meantime, be sure to check us out, KocoSports.com, KocoSports.com. It's your home for combat sports. It's where the world goes to kick ass, and most importantly, where it's okay to be a passionate fan. Also, be sure to like, subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. So this is Boom for the rest of the Coco crew saying the boom just went bang, and I am out.